here. So I think the question is, do we expand the airport? And I think to do that, we'd have to do a lot of public, we'd have to talk to a lot of people in the public about that.
Thank you. And John?
Bringing business into the area, you have to create a magnet, something to bring them in. And the magnet that we have, the biggest thing for it is land. Bring them in for that. Expanding the airport probably is a thought, but I don't believe it's a real thought at this point in time. What do you have, 5,700 feet? It takes at least 7,000, 7,200 feet to bring in commercial airlines. One of the biggest assets, the only one that's going to work right now, is to take advantage of the land space. The question is, do you build it and hope that they come, or do you go out and seek a lease tenant to come in and then build it for them? And the biggest thing you can do is get it all permitted, the type of, what do you call it, business mantra that you want out there. Get it permitted and ready to go. So when they say, gee, I need a 10,000 square foot building, we have a pad over here, they can do it, and it's ready to go. It'll take us 6 months to put it up and get you going. So get it permitted, get it site approved, and build it.
So we talked a lot about the economic growth, bringing in revenue and different parts of the property of the port. So this individual from the audience asked, how much does the availability of skilled workers affect SCIA growth, and what do we need to do to improve? So John, this goes to you, please.
SCIA growth is important. One of the big things is what I've been hanging my hat on is the land that's out there. And bringing in skilled workers. What is the skill that we need? Do we need electricians? Do we need airplane mechanics? Do we need welders for the shipyard? Work with the local shipyard, find out what their biggest need is. They have a good relationship with the colleges. And so the kids, they pay for these younger people to go to college and get some background there, some academic background. But work with the local colleges, find out what they need. Do they need a lay-down yard for their equipment? Do they need a lay-down yard for their pipe? Do they need some kind of welding center? And yes, they have it there, but what else can you do? And the biggest thing we can do is bring in skilled workers, is provide a meeting for them to come. Find out what's really needed in Kitsap County. Is it construction, electrical, mechanical, or structural?
Thank you.
Yeah, this is the biggest issue facing any community that wants economic development, is having an educated workforce. When I was in the city of Bellevue, we were recruiting Microsoft to land there, and they finally did. And the issue with Bill Gates was, I said, why did you come to Bellevue? And he said, because we got an educated workforce here. You've got a major university right near here, and you've got a good school system that our people would like to put their kids in school. So I've always believed that since I got to Bremerton, that one of the biggest assets that we didn't have, that we needed, was more keeping our best and brightest young people in town so that they didn't leave and we didn't have this brain drain out of here, and they could stay and work here. So what's happened, and I was happy to have some role in the leadership of this, is, and now the current mayor, is the expansion of baccalaureate degrees at Olympic College. The more we can get our kids to stay here and go to college and then want to live here and work here, the more we're going to be able to create jobs.
Thank you. So the next question has to do somewhat outside the port, but also with economic development in this area. And the question from the audience member is, could greatly expanded fast ferry service change the business development opportunities for us? Question goes to you, Gary.
Absolutely. Let's talk about ferry service a little bit, because it's one of my 6 goals. We're fundamentally an island community. We can get out of here through Shelton, but otherwise we have to go over a bridge or we have to take a ferry. And Representative Sequist knows this better than anybody in this room, the importance of ferry service to this community. Our ferry riders today pay 75% of the cost of operating the ferry out of the fare box. There is no other public transportation system in the country that pays 75%, and my wife takes the ferry every day to Seattle. She's a commuter. So would the passenger-only ferry system augment that and give us a better opportunity to talk to Seattle companies about wanting to come here, or to have people that live in Seattle that want to buy an affordable house in Kitsap County that want to commute to downtown Seattle? Absolutely. If we do it, it's going to have to go to the vote of the people and be the people's choice, because it will require funding. But ferries, there's nothing more critical to our economic well-being than ferries.
Thank you. John, same question.
Good question. Well, there's several ways to get it: fly in or drive in, and you can also float in by boat. There's been talk of putting a tunnel over to Seattle or some point there. That isn't going to happen. And the only way we can do that is fly people over directly from downtown. I don't think Maryland's going to let that happen. The next one would be is put in Fast Ferry. Fast Ferry is not a money maker. It will never pay for itself, but in a way it does, because it brings in the type of people that we want into the community. The other thing it ties in with Fast Ferry is parking. I mentioned it earlier. You got to have a place for these people to park their vehicles, or turn around and commute downtown with Kitsap Transit. So you work out a mechanism to move people from one place to the next. Fast Ferry is the way to go. Run it all day? Absolutely not. Run it during key times, in the morning and the afternoon when people are high commuters? Absolutely. That's the way to go.
Great. So then we get down to our last question, and the nice thing about the Eggs and Issues is that individual audience members can ask specific questions concerning them. And this audience member asks, why do Seebeck residents pay into the port? What do we get for our tax money? John, please.
One of the things is that it's hard for a Seebeck person to understand is you are part of a regional community. And being a regional community ties in with transportation and the port districts. One thing they do get is with the increased values around the area of properties, their value goes up also. And with the port, you have good jobs, bringing in the people, and you have a place for them to live out in the Seebeck area, property values go up. We all know Kitsap County is going to grow. We all know we're going to start getting spillover from Seattle, so where are they going to go? And Seebeck's a great place to go. Bremerton is excellent if you want a smaller house or a condominium, small place to live. So Seebeck gets the value, it's the spillover value from what's happening economically around the community.
Thank you.
I don't think the port's done a good enough job of outreaching and finding out what the people in Seebeck really want and what they need. I think we've been really negligent in talking to the folks in Seebeck about investment in Seebeck. They do pay taxes, and they're not getting, I don't think, their fair return. When I was CEO, we had some public meetings out there, and there were some conversations about a community center and about a boat ramp and about a variety of other things, but we never settled on a project for Seebeck. If I'm elected, I will work with the commissioners and do everything we can to try to be a part of the Seebeck community in a real impactful way so they see real benefit to being a part of the port.
Thank you. So that concludes our question and answer period. And I want to commend the audience. Actually, I came in, we had 2 questions that you all really wrote up some very good, insightful questions that actually covered a diversity of topics and areas to better inform the voters of our area. Thank you for that. So now with that, we conclude the candidates each have 2 minutes each to do a summary. We began with Carrie for her opening, so we'll begin with John for closing. John, 2 minutes, please.
My position that I'm running for, the important position is, I've been involved with this community for many years. I moved here in '84 and been involved since then. I've worked with various persons in this room under various guises, like Mayor Lent, used to be Commissioner Lent. And one of the things I do is I'm involved with the community. I donate a lot back into the community, and being on the various boards and positions that I'm in shows that I'm active. Also, too, is I am a small business person. I do know the pain that we've gone through, and we are coming out of it. We're not out of it. I do work hard. I say what I'm going to do, and I do it. If I can't, then I'll explain it away. But I'm not perfect. I'll make mistakes. Do I know all the answers? Absolutely not. But I go out and I seek the answers. If somebody has a question for me, I probably don't have an answer. If I do, I'll tell you. If I don't know, I'll tell you, but I'll go find out and come back to you. So one of the things I do is I go out and I seek the answers. I also come to forums like this and ask questions and be available. And so with that in mind, I'm available 24/7. Thank you.
Thank you. Gary, 2 minutes.
I'm not a technocrat. I don't try to act like one. I think I have leadership skills and the ability to bring people together to get things done. I believe that change is inevitable, and I think you're either getting better or you're getting worse. And I spent all my life trying to work on projects that made my community better. Let me give you a quick example. When I first came to the city of Bremerton, the downtown waterfront was in somewhat disrepair, and we hadn't had any real new growth there. And so we started concentrating on a little 2-acre site that we owned on the waterfront. And within 3 years, we had a $65 million project done there that was a public-private venture. 12 million from the city in revenue bonds for a parking garage, $60 million from the private sector for a new hotel, a new conference center, Anthony's Home Port, and within 3 years, we had permitted it, built it, and paid for it. The city's only contribution to that was $12 million in revenue bonds, and that changed the whole configuration of downtown, and now we've got this revitalization going in downtown. Those are the kind of things I want to do at the port. I want to bring the private sector together, the public sector together, the other districts together to actually begin doing projects and bringing new companies over here that will make our community better. And I want to finish with this last thing. There's nothing more important to any of these communities than people having good paying jobs with good benefits who can contribute to the community, who can serve on boards, who can coach their little league teams, who can give to the hospital. There's nothing more important than that. And the port has to play a major role in that activity in this community, and I want to be a part of that.
Right, thank you. So that actually concludes this morning's Eggs and Issues. I want to thank both of our candidates, both for your community leadership and for running for the position. Audience members, your opportunity to thank them.